Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So I wanted to make this video to show you what I do when I'm running short of time, and I just want to kind of do my daily tasks. So first of all, of course, make sure you get the daily links mail to get your 20 stones in this case. And then click for the extra 10 stones for a total of 30 per day. Now, obviously, we don't have the 50 per day that we had for the last couple of weeks, but still, 20 plus 10 is not bad, and that ends up getting you about one free 10 pull per month. Also, as I've mentioned in many other videos, make sure you use all your red and green keys every day if you can. Now, my strategy is always to go for, in this case, Miglin's Castle very hard for my red keys, and I use the green keys for Garulea. And the reason for that is that I'm very used to Miglin's Castle, and I do have a really strong team tailor-suited for Miglin's Castle. Also, I am farming for all those light to finally try to unlock the 5th reward slot in Garulea, which is 360 light. Currently, I'm around 310 or so, and so I'm planning to get Aldo to 140 light first, and then move on to Amy because she'll be useful in future updates as well. That being said, if you do it correctly and you don't do all the mob battles, I can finish one Miglin's Castle speed run in about 3 minutes, and that is including collecting all the treasure chests. Now, if you rush from beginning to end without getting the treasure chests, you can actually probably do it in less than 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes or so, especially if you can end the boss in 3 or 4 turns with a quick AF or with, regular special attacks. Now, in case of Garulea, my first video a number of weeks ago was about 25 minutes long, and unfortunately it's just because I wasn't familiar with the different maps and what you're supposed to be doing in Garulea. Now, I hope that most of you who are on this content have gotten used to Garulea and know kind of which maps to go towards, to collect junk, for example, which maps you want to go to get your fragments of attack or life, depending on what you need. I believe most of you actually need fragments of attack, which I am also trying to hoard up. Now, if you don't have a lot of time, the idea is to just run through and get the pieces of junk that you need, and then move on to the next door. And in the case of if you run into a special door like Nagsham, or if you're blessed with getting the cat shrine, that avoids one full area where you have to run into random mobs. Now, a reminder that in Garulea, it's not just 5 mob attacks per area, it's actually unlimited mob attacks per area. So the longer you stay in one area, the longer it'll take to get right through. Now, in this case, I did skip Nagsham just to prove how long it would take if you actually had to fight through 3 areas. And my video will also show that I am trying to get all the chests in this case, Spectre Palace. There are 4 chests, of course, in the areas that don't have those shiny junk, and so they do have a rare chance of getting chant scripts as well. So I am willing to go out of my way to get all 4. Now, in this speedrun, I am also avoiding the horrors. Not that because I can't beat them, but because each battle will probably take another 30 seconds to 1 minute, and let's be honest, those larger crystals, you can get them from other ways, either through treasure chests in Garulea or as a reward slot at the end. So not a big priority. I do find the regular fragments more valuable, especially for the attack ones, rather than the crystals themselves. I actually have a lot of extra crystals. Let me know in the comments below how your farming for fragments and crystals are going as well. Also, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who is interested in supporting me this way. So a reminder that this Spectre Palace only has fragments of life to get, and the ones for fragments of attack is, for example, the Jiraiya Fortress, Kunlun Mountains, and Temple Ruins. And of those 3, I believe that Temple Ruins has the highest generation of attack fragments, just because the mobs kind of seem to encounter more easily and frequently, and you can always one-shot them. Now, if you've seen so far how I've been battling, I always use Mario to switch for Amy to power up speed and attack. That has two benefits. Obviously, by speeding up your team, you avoid any attacks on your team, especially from the really fast mobs in some of these areas. And unfortunately, even with Mario being the fastest, she does have a speed badge on her, like a plus 25. Even with her being faster and switching in for Amy, sometimes the mobs are a little bit fast, but that being said, they can't one-shot my team. So, you know, if you need to, you can always cast Pure Cradle the next turn when you encounter a mob. Anyways, after bringing in Amy, you just use the appropriate AoE attacks that you have on your characters to wipe out the weaknesses of whichever mob group you're attacking. And you can see I'm fortunate, or you can say unfortunate enough, to run into Vermilion Road once more. So again, for those who don't know, there are a total of 3 shiny sparkles in each of these sparkly areas. That is the Plateau, Vermilion Road, Kunlu Mountains, and if you haven't gotten 20 of the colored items that you can trade in for special armor, then you'll have a 4th shiny sparkle that you can get that. Otherwise, there are only 3 sparkles per area. So if you're used to traveling to these areas, you'll eventually get used to which areas seem to spawn the sparkles more frequently, because they are actually called semi-random. They can, I guess, spawn in certain areas, and they are relatively random, but the same areas will spawn those sparkles, if that makes sense. So as long as you kind of go to the same areas, and you can see a lot of them are kind of in the end bits, and one is usually near one of the exits to the next area, then you can quickly you know, cover your path and not even explore 100%, because really, once you count to 3 junk collections, then you can move on. And here we are going to take on Karakuri. And note that I didn't even look for the second boss exit at this point. And the reason why is that I'm not equipped to take on Suzaku, and the other boss actually has Fragments of Life as one of the rewards in its treasure chest. And this boss has all attack fragments with a rare chance, of course, of getting the Jadeite, which everyone is, you know, coveting. So I find that taking this boss on is a little bit tougher than Mizuchi. Mizuchi, I can just crush her shell with my blunt attacks and then slash her to oblivion. In this case, being that Karakuri always debuffs itself every turn, I do have to rotate Lokido and Aldo to kind of keep my team alive and protect it. It's not a really big deal, but unfortunately I don't have a superpowered team to end the boss in one turn. I do need about 5 turns, so obviously the more powerful the team you have, the quicker your speedrun can be. And if you note the you know, the timing of this video, one full run of Garulea takes between 8 and 10 minutes for me. And of course, if you do have more time, you can feel free to stay in, for example, the Temple Ruins, where you can fight the unlimited numbers of mobs and get more fragments. But if you do this quickly, that's 2 green keys, and you get, you know, 4 green keys a day. That's about, you know, 20 minutes. And then if you burn 4 red keys, it's about another, you know, 12 to 15 minutes. So not too bad, about half an hour of gaming time if you really are in a rush. And obviously, if you're really in a rush, don't even use the green keys for Garulea if it's too difficult for you. Make sure you burn them on easy areas in another dungeons where you can at least gather light or shadow for your appropriate characters. I mean, it's not great, and the chance of getting a light or shadow is only 10% as opposed to 20% for a red key. But still, it's better than nothing, and you still have a chance of getting some rewards. Anyways, I hope that sheds some light as to what I do anyways when I'm running shorter time. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.